Hello and welcome to Off-Road Gospel. I'm Jeff, and we're going to be talking about today is recovery gear and safety on the trail. So, as you may or may not have seen yet, the very first video we did was called Count the Cost. It was kind of impromptu because, well, I buried my truck in the mud. And thankfully, I had some recovery gear with me, so when someone came along to pull me out, we were able to take care of it really quick. So I wanted to go over with what I carry in my truck, what I carry with me when I'm out running around on the trails, and why I have it, and a couple quick tutorials on proper, usage and technique. But the reason for that is I like to be able to go out there and feel like I'm prepared. I took some awesome teenagers from the church that I pastor out, and we went and hit some trails, and these young ladies had a blast. But the thing was, I knew I was ready if something happened or came up, that I could take care of things myself, or have somebody come along and help me, because I had the gear needed. I didn't have to worry about, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope you will take a look at the gear you carry around when you're out and about, and maybe add a piece or two. There's great ways to do it without spending a ton of money. So I look forward to going over this with you today. So this is my 2022 Colorado ZR2. Now, a lot of my gear, this is how I stow it. All right, so you kind of saw what we have sitting in the back underneath the seat. Some of the things I also keep inside, one of them is my air inflator. This little compressor here, I'm able to reinflate after I air down the tires. And so I also keep inside the truck, which I'll show you here in just a little bit. Inside the truck, I also keep a air deflator so I can measure the pressure and everything like that. Screws right on to the valve stem, works excellent. The air compressor, I am not, as you can tell by my site, I don't have that many followers at this point, so no one's paying me. Got this at Harbor Freight. Works great. I've used it several times. If you look periodically, there'll be a coupon. You can get it even cheaper. It's one of the most reasonably priced, and it only takes a matter of a few minutes to reinflate about 10 psi per tire. So it works really well. I also have here high lift jack. This here is mainly used for people with oversized tires and things like that. It also, as you see, I have the chain on here. This works as a recovery tool as well. This works as a manual winch. You can hook it up with the chain, with a tree strap, and you can be able to winch yourself out. This one's about 5 foot, and so it allows me, I can winch about 5 feet at a time, reattach, and then pull again. You'll see up here at the front of the bed of the truck, that is where I have some different tools. That is the high lift winch recovery kit in the red bag there, an additional tow strap as well. And so we'll pull out the traction boards as well, but we'll get all this out and let you see what we have. All right.
I'm scared. Oh my god. That was the front seat. Oh my god. Don't worry, pastor's a good driver.
I'm not worried about that. I'm really worried about
We
quitting.
hope so, right?
Oh, that was fun. Getting hit by a middle branch.
You can roll up your window. Okay, so we kind of unpacked a lot of this stuff. And so over here, have an extra shackle in here in this kit. But this is the recovery kit, a little bit of extra chain that you need with it. This is your tree strap. They include gloves. And so that'll be a whole nother thing for a whole nother day on hooking this up and using it. But that's part of, if I was someplace and got a little into something, I could recover as long as I have a tree to hook to. Another thing that is very recommended, this mainly is good for you get into some problems in some sand, you spin the tires, go in too deep. Recovery boards. These, not only can you use them to shovel away the sand, but also this particular one I got, it enables you also, if you were to get a flat on the trail, has this area right here that you can put your jack on. It's a flat area, so this way, put the recovery board down and you'll be able to set your jack there on a good steady surface. So this way, as you're jacking up to change a tire, you won't run into any problems. This is it's from Amazon, a company called Bunker Industries. Actually tried to use it when I was high centered in some mud. Wasn't able to get any traction, but I will tell you this, that my wheels, I could hear them rubbing up against this. The plastic was sturdy enough to withstand the tire abrasion and nothing broke off or anything like that. So they're fairly sturdy. Thankfully, I haven't really had much use for them, but they're a great thing to have around. And then we kind of get into one of the most important pieces, recovery strap. That is something that if you're going to do any off-roading, you need to have something. You need to have your recovery strap, and you also need to be a way to attach to your recovery points. And we'll go through that. There's a couple different ways of doing that. You can use these standard metal shackles, or what is very useful are the newer soft shackles. So these enable you to do the same thing, but without a steel point to that. So it's not steel that you would attach just the same way, loop it through, put it around, so easy to do, as you can see. And so now you've got a good connection point that is soft. The thing is, the reason why they're going to a lot of these, a lot of people are going away from their chains for recovery, is because if your chain breaks or it breaks loose, there have been people that have been killed. And so it is very recommended. This is Badlands, the soft shackle, same brand. And these also. Why? Because very inexpensive. You can get it at Harbor Freight, so it's easy to get. If you want to go with a bigger brand and a bigger name, those are out there. Those are available. They work great. There are kinetic ropes, which will have more elasticity. This has some, but they will have more. They're also a little more expensive. But, you know, do your research and figure out what you want to keep. But make sure you have a recovery strap. Make sure you have shackles, whether they be the standard or the new style. Have those sort of things. I talked about having a deflator. Yeah, can you do it with just a small straight screwdriver? Yes, you can. Nice thing about this, threads right on to the valve stem. Push in, it begins to deflate. You can push it and lock it, and it'll continue to deflate if you don't want to stand there. Twist back, release, and when you release, it'll give you your air pressure. So I highly recommend, do the research, figure out the best way to do it, the type of terrain you're on. Airing down your tires is a big improvement in traction, and on the trails, yes, you give up a little clearance, but it's well worth it. So, also, we're going to show you in a minute, this here is if I am stuck and I can only get pulled out from behind my truck. So I can put this into, and I can be able to recover from the back without having to wrap around the axles or anything like that. I highly recommend having one of these. Some group rides that you go on will require you to have a rear recovery point, front recovery point, and the basic gear. Here's the thing. It's no guaranteeing that you're ever going to get a flat during the daytime or deal with something in the daytime. Some simple little flashlights, simple little headlamp. This one, very inexpensive, Walmart. This here, you know, I'm not even sure where I got it, but I've had it for a long time. Just this very simple little light. They make some great tactical ones out there with all kinds of distance, but for the basics of dealing with stuff, you know, having to change a tire or something like that, these are perfect. What's this for? It's a great little pruning saw. You might be going down a trail and run into a spot where you need to trim away some things, or you're gonna do some real damage to your paint. There's nothing wrong with having adventure stripes on your vehicle, but sometimes you need to clear stuff away. This works great. Some people will carry a Sawzall with them. Hey, if you can, great. You know, again, small hatchet helps with that as well. This is very common. I believe this one was off of Amazon, and it's just one of those simple folding shovels. And so, great to have. You never know. This one, of course, you know, has a little saw, some multiple different things it can do. But, you know, these sort of things, will I ever need it? I don't know, but I'll have it just in case. It's a very inexpensive thing. You know, could be overkill, maybe, but, you know, I'd rather be prepared out on the trail than not be. Raincoat, just in case. Ratchet strap. I have another one that holds down my gear in the back of the truck, some bungees, some zip ties. You may or may not ever need them, but I have seen people use the ratchet straps to be able to attach something to their vehicle to be able to limp it home. So there's a lot of uses for these kind of things. And we're gonna kind of demo the how to hook up the shackles and how to hook up the recovery point. Quick, doing a recovery point from the back of your truck. You know, of course, most trucks are gonna have the hitch, and so 2-inch receiver. This thing is, like I said, again, inexpensive, Amazon. There's all kinds of them out there, a lot of different brands. Simply, you just put it in, put it through. I'm not gonna attach it all the way because I'm not gonna be using this right now. But you simply take your recovery strap, put it through, goes in. Okay, tighten it down. Here's a little trick I learned that I saw. So I just tightened it all the way up. Now, back it off a quarter of a turn. The reason for that is, when they start pulling on you, this is gonna tighten back up. When I was pulled out of the mud, I did this on mine. The person that hooked up to their truck hand tightened it all the way down. He had to go find a screwdriver to get it in there to break it loose. That's how much it torqued it down. So now I'm attached and able to recover from this side, and we're gonna go real quick and do the same on the front. All right, so whether you use the soft shackle or the standard shackle, again, Badland version, Harbor Freight, I think it was right around 10 bucks, and they work great. So, like we talked about before, you put this on your recovery strap, feed this through here, then you will make sure it's the right way, feed it up through, tighten it down, all the way down to where it's hand tight, all the way, and then we're gonna back off a quarter turn like we did to make sure we don't lock up. So, quarter turn, boom. So now we're all attached. These anchor points on the truck are attached to the frame. So when someone's yanking and pulling, if you're new to this, it's a little weird. And when they start yanking and pulling, but this is what this is made for. This is made to pull you out to recover. And so this is how you do it. So it's got a little different hills than the last one you were on, huh?
This is a fun trail.
Uh-huh.
You did this again.
Thought y'all might like this one.
Whoa.
Downhill with whoop-de-doos and a drop.
Oh my god.
Why are there seatbelts?
I'm glad one of my signals. She will take the fun out of it. No!
until you hit your head on the roof.
And then it's not our fault. We're not gonna get stuck in it.
sometimes get a little mud on the truck, that's all.
You survived that one.
Here's the one I was kind of hopping on because there's all this sand.
Whoa! I think I walked in for a minute. Okay.
We'll be fine.
You sure? Yeah.
We can run. This doesn't feel very sturdy though.
It's all this sand. Oh yeah, I bet. Probably shooting on a lot of sand. Then you get to this and you can't even see over it. But
Oh.
There's a hill. I see a hill.
yep. Getting up on this one now.
Can we not?
It's a little bouncy. Can be.
Off the hill we go.
Bouncy, bouncy. Bouncy, bouncy.
Jack and Hill, up the hill.
Now they're gonna go down the hill.
Whee!
I'm yelled at.
And then they go back up the hill.
Another hill?
Woohoo!
Yay! More hills!
The West Branch is
This
doing
one.
little hills, so.
This is a good climb here. Because you can't go too fast because of all the bumps and all that. You see how folks have been
My mom,
skidding on it.
my mom was living first and there was a speed bump here in Florida.
Uh-huh.
She hit it and messed up my dad's car.
Yeah, those things can do some damage. Now the downhill.
You guys should go to Mexico. There's literally no stop right there. We're ready to go down the hill.
Trying to have a little fun.
I know. I just like that's really disconcerting.
It's a weird feeling, isn't it?
It's like, what are we doing on the ledge?
We're sitting on the hill. Why? Why are we sitting on the hill? Somebody please move off the hill.
Alright, yeah. Please don't. Please don't.
Yeah! Whoa! Faster! Whoa! Don't see that coming.
Figure we do something a little fun.
Thank you again for joining us on Off-Road Gospel. We hope you learned something, and also why we're prepared and why we make sure we count the cost ahead of time. It's to have fun like we were having out on the trails. So again, thank you. We look forward to seeing you again real soon out on the trails. God bless.